I got little tens towards the end, didn't it? Today I'm going up Alpe de Zwift, which is not particularly interesting in itself, other than I'm a relatively new cyclist, 6 months, relatively new to Zwift, 6 weeks, and I'm relatively heavy, 6 donuts for breakfast. I'm just kidding, I've only been on Zwift for 5 weeks. But what is interesting is that I'm going up it on what is possibly the best full-size rocker plate in the world. I own a Wahoo KICKR bike, which is very, very good. In fact, I don't need to review it beyond that because there are plenty of reviews out there already singing its praises. Having owned it now for a number of months, I can't think of much wrong with it other than 3 very, very minor issues, and I might have solved all of them in one go. Firstly, it's a bit of a lump. When I got it, I had visions of regularly moving it out of the way so I could clean underneath it, or placing it into a more convenient position so that I could work around it when it wasn't in use. In reality, that's never really happened. It's just sat facing the TV screen 99% of the time. You can move it. It can be tipped back onto its rear wheels, but doing that, it's about as manoeuvrable as a 3-wheeled shopping cart in a field. As a result, it's never gone anywhere. And then there is the way the bike moves. Now, famously, the Wahoo KICKR will pitch up and down to simulate climbing and descending. It's fun when it does it. If you're on something like Zwift and a hill comes up, the bike will tip back as though you're riding uphill, vice versa when you go downhill. But it doesn't do it in a noticeable way a lot of the time. I had visions of it being like riding on a roller coaster. That's not what's going on. Very gradually, the bike will incline or decline depending on what scenery you come across. It's fun when it does it, there's no question. But it's not a vital thing for the bike to be doing. It's more of a gimmick. What the bike could do with doing is moving from side to side. Not only is that a more natural thing for a bike to do, as it would do in real life, moving from side to side when you pedal it, it's also more forgiving on the body, and the bike can't do that. Which brings me to my last point. What they have done is very clever. You can adjust it massively. The flexibility on this thing is huge. It will fit me at 6'6". If it's Jenna at 5'6", goes right down smaller if you need it to. And when it is all locked off in position, it is very rigid. Smart stuff. But it is not rock solid. And when you put some serious force through it, that gap between very rigid and rock solid does start to become exposed. I'm about 230 pounds, about 100 kilograms, and I can stick 1600 watts through it in a quick blast quite easily. I imagine that elite cyclists and track cyclists do far more than that. And there is nowhere for that force to go other than straight down through the cranks operating in a very fixed plane of movement. The bottom line is, under pressure, it creaks. I am no engineer, but it just feels like it needs a way of absorbing those forces a bit better. So what have we got down here? We have a full-size handmade rocker plate from Tim at Churchill Woodcraft. I saw his advert for rocker plates on Facebook and said, do me one of them and slap some wheels on it. It's a relatively straightforward design. It is rigidly supported down the centre of the top and bottom plates, and then rubber balls mounted on either edge to allow for the rocking movement from side to side. It's been coated in a polyurethane varnish so it can be white clean, and he slapped some wheels on it. And that means that in conjunction with the quick release socket that I installed for the wiring, I can just unplug the bike and shift it right out the way for cleaning underneath it. More importantly, each time I finish on the bike, I can now move it to a position where it takes up far less room. Clearly, how important it is to you to be able to take your bike and just shove it conveniently out the way depends on the space you're working with. For me, it's vital. It's a very small garage in here with lots of bits and pieces going on. I can't think of the number of times I've tried to squeeze past it with something in the past and either bashed it or bashed myself. To be honest, forget the rocking, I'd take it just for the wheels. But how does it ride? Well, I haven't fallen off it yet, which is a good start. It feels good. It just feels quite natural actually. I mean, the bike's kind of moving from side to side as I'm moving around on it. Obviously haven't given it any welly yet, so that'd be interesting to see. But yeah, it feels good so far. So what's the plan on this Alp climb? I've not done the Alp properly before. So I had a trainer road session that was a 260 watt erg mode session. And just for interest, I plugged Zwift in and went up the Alp in erg mode at 260 watts, so not real, or not a real climb. And I did it in about 1 hour 13, which sounds about right, because people tell me that you need about 3.2 watts per kilogram to go under the hour. For me, at 101 kilograms, That's about 320 watts average. My FTP theoretically is about 316, so I'm a bit off of that. I don't expect to go under the hour today. What I hope to do is to set a good bar for something for me to aim at over the coming weeks and months. That's the plan. Everything is set up. I put my weight in at 101 kilograms. It was 100. But anyone that's watched my last training vlog will know why it's 101 now. Donuts. Tiffin cookie. I've also bought a bike. I was told to get the tarmac, specialized tarmac, so I've got that, and also some more aero wheels, or lighter wheels rather. So I am fully equipped with the right gear. The thing I'm least looking forward to is just not knowing what I'm doing. You know, when do you put the power down? Do I focus on trying to maintain a 320 watt average? Do I not? I'm really not sure. Other than that, just ride up it as quickly as I can. And rock from side to side as I do. Okay, let's get to the bottom of the hill. Okay. Everything ready. Let's do it. Okay, I'm bored already. I get you may not be bored, I understand. There are some of you that would happily watch a grown man cycle up a pretend mountain all day long, but that's weird behaviour. It's as bad as my kids watching Minecraft videos. I'm not going to enable that, so I'm going to just chop it down and talk all over it. I'm sorry. So first of all, let's talk about the rocker plate. I absolutely love the thing. It ran silently. The clicking and the creaking you can hear occasionally, that's the cleats on the bottom of my shoes. I'd never noticed them before. They'd presumably always done it. The bike had always been louder, but this time around the bike is silent. Looking at it head on, you can see why. Here, I'm not stood up on the pedals. There's not a huge amount of force going down through it, maybe 300 watts. But the bike is moving from side to side. Not a huge amount, but it is moving, simply because of those side to side forces going down through it. That makes perfect sense. But without the rocker plate, where were those forces that caused that movement going previously? I have no idea. I'm not a structural engineer, but I would imagine that if you've got 100 kilograms, making something go 1 inch one way, 1 inch the other, repeatedly for thousands of times, and you lock that down and try and make it rigid, something's going to creak. And in normal cycling, sat down like this, I just forgot it was moving. It just felt very, very natural. We will cover standing up riding a little bit later on. Let's get back to the ride 12 minutes in. 14%. That's a cheeky quad burn right there. Holy moly. Okay, need to set some targets here. 73 minutes is my PB off of that Trainer Road erg mode nonsense. So, gotta beat that. I'm reckoning under 1 hour 10. Under 1 hour 10 is a chicken burger from Mr. Cod. Best chicken burger in Reading. Actually, tier 4 now. I don't even know if I can get a chicken burger. Under 1 hour 5, 2 chicken burgers. I'll worry about under an hour, nearer the top. Man, I need to get one of the kids to Google tier 4 rules. Surely they can't have stopped chicken burgers. They haven't. 20 minutes in. 20 minutes gone, 1 park run, 2 more to go. And mentally that just works for me. Anything that I can break down into tough 20-minute blocks just becomes park run time. I know what a hard, arduous 20 minutes feels like. I can focus on it, get it done, and when it's done, then worry about the next 20 minutes. I've done trail runs like that. I've done ultra marathons like that. I think I even sat through one of my kids' nativity plays at school like that. The ultra marathon was easier. 28 minutes in. Okay, just gone through corner 11, halfway to corner 10, so it must be roughly halfway maybe, I don't know. 28 minutes done, so kind of feels like I might be doing a reasonable pace. I should probably looked up some sort of target pace for each corner. Ill prepared as always. I feel alright, 164 beats per minute heart rate. Quads are toast, but nothing new. Yeah, feel okay-ish. So at this point, corner 10 almost, 28 minutes in, I'm actually starting to get a rather worrying feeling that I might be close to the hour target. Worrying because going actual sub 60 on my very first run just seems impossible. But I'm clearly in the ballpark. Missing it by a few seconds, that might almost be worse than doing a sort of a 1 hour 10 or something. 40 minutes in. 40 minutes. Park run left. Just a cheeky park run. Okay, this guy's got a colourful bike. I'm gonna follow him. He must know what he's doing. It was bright blue, lit up like a Christmas tree. You can't get a bright blue bike without being at least a little bit handy. That is sports science right there. 52 minutes in. Okay. Without wishing to get all Dave Goggins.
Stay hard.
There's no 2-1-2 today. No 2-1-2. 7 or 8 minutes, about 3 corners to go, and there is a degree of pain starting to settle in here. My focus, no 2-1-2, was not to repeat the embarrassing performance that I'd had in a recent Zwift race where I had died on the line and just rolled across the finish line at 212 watts. Poor performance, poor, shocking, poorly planned, poorly executed, poorly finished. I wasn't happy with that performance. It's disgusting, disgusting performance. Not at all. My focus, therefore, was don't go 2-1-2.
Stay hard.
I should also focus probably on not dropping my water bottle on the MacBook and triggering some sort of weird promo code nonsense. Oh, fuck. What? Okay, now let's talk about standing up and pedalling. I liked it on the rocker. There was no creaking. I felt that not only was the bike absorbing forces better, it felt less violent on me. It felt less harsh. Rocking from side to side when there's no ability for the bike to rock just feels very aggressive. It felt much more cushioned, is probably the best way of describing it. It wasn't easier. Watts are watts. I'm still putting the power down. It just felt nicer to ride it that way. However, I think there are more gains to be had with practice. It feels to me like there is a knack to nailing the timing. Tim that built it for me told me exactly that. It didn't feel like I was at one with the bike really. I could feel me moving on top of it, not quite in time with the bike moving below. So it was good. It's certainly much better than not having the rocker plate, but I reckon a few more rides and I better stick some real power down through it and feel at one with the machine. At this stage, it's kind of like dancing on a bouncy castle. And the final minute. So here I have less than a minute to go. I can't see the finish line. I'm still pushing 500 watts, but mentally I'm becoming confused at this point. I really operate far better when I have a fixed target and I know what I'm aiming for. Here, that target cannot be sub 1 hour anymore. That can't be possible. I haven't got time. Then the ETA pops up. It shows just under 61 minutes and I'm starting to do sort of mental gymnastics here, trying to find a way for my brain to trick my body into keep going. I have clearly got over a minute of pedaling still to do. I can't hold 500 watts at this stage for that duration. Does it mean that the ETA is going to slip to 61 something if I start to back off? Is 60 something better than 61 something? There's a board meeting going on up here to try and work out what my motivation is. That groan is me spotting that the ETA had slipped to 61. No, 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 no. Fail, fail, fail. The meeting was over. I had decided that 60 something was absolutely the target here.
60! Give me fucking 60! 60! 60! Fuck you! No 2 1 2!
No 2 1 2.
Stay hard.
Fuck. Fuck.
60 minutes, 57 seconds, 0.64, and no rolling over the line like a baby. Now, it is on my Instagram, so you may have already seen it, but if you haven't, what follows is a demonstration of what will take place if you try to get off the bike with no control of your limbs, stand on lacquered wood covered in sweat, and really need to lie down fast.
Fuck. 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 Ah! Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Back in a minute. Fuck. Ah!
I laid here for quite a while.
I got little tens towards the end, didn't it? That was quite exciting. So, let me save this before something crashes over here and I lose it all.
Protect the footage at all costs.
I think what I'll do is I'll review it when I've calmed somewhat. That might be best from a medical perspective. What I will say with the board, with the sweat, in the words of JBJ, slippery when wet.
And there you have it. The board is brilliant. I absolutely love it. The fact that it's on wheels and I can move it around is almost the most exciting part of it. But I love the fact that the stresses aren't going through the bike anymore. They're not going through me either. It's a much more natural feel to it. I cannot wait to get the hang of standing up and really putting some power down through it. I will put Tim's details, the guy that designed and built it for me, in the description below. Drop him an email, ask him for one. I doubt you get a discount, but the thing was an absolute bargain anyway. It cost less than 10% of the price of the bike. What he will do for you is engrave it with above average. No, you won't. And as for the Alp itself, it was good. An hour, it's a nice distance, 3 park runs. It's something that you can just get done without having to allocate huge amounts of the day to. I will certainly return to it. When I do, there's no question whatsoever, I will go under the hour. The ability now to know exactly what my times are for each corner segment means that I can just time myself properly, knock a few seconds off of each individual one and get to the top in time. In fact, it's such a certainty that it's almost taken away the allure of doing it. It's just a case of getting it done at some stage. It's not to say it will be easy, but you know what I mean. I hope you found it useful and interesting. If you did, please like and subscribe and hit the little button so you get reminded when I stick something else up. And I hope you can also forgive the slightly misleading video title and thumbnail, because I can guarantee you they are going to say up the Alp in 60 minutes. It's Christmas, I get to round down.